Good afternoon, everyone. Just going to give it a few more minutes for to get a quorum. All right, I'll get started here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. We just want to welcome everyone and thank you for joining the Future of Growth, how AI-driven relationship intelligence is transforming the RIA and asset manager landscape. My name is Devon Drew. I'm the Chief Executive at AssetLink, and I'm thrilled to dive into a topic that is fundamentally changing how our industry finds and secures clients. We're going to keep this to right around 40, 45 minutes, to have plenty of time for a live demonstration of AI, relationship intelligence, and also Q&A, so there'll be plenty of time for that. But today, we'd love to just speak to old ways versus new ways, right? Old ways in prospecting and how there's going to be a new standard of growth with the exponential growth of artificial intelligence. So let's start with the problem. Traditional growth strategies are outdated and inefficient, right? This is my 20th year in the industry. I started my career at Merrill, was at firms like JP Morgan, Vanguard, American Century, et cetera. And doesn't matter whether I was at a $20 billion organization or a $10 trillion organization, it was all the same mundane ways to prospect for new prospects and clients. And those are largely inefficient now with the evolution of artificial intelligence. And if you're like most of us, right, you're stuck wasting valuable time on manual research, endless cold calls, events that only bring lukewarm leads that you're spending a lot of money to attend. And the data actually shows only 1 in 5 firms feel like they have truly optimized the client acquisition process, right? And what that means from a percentage standpoint is that 80% of your time is going to low value activity, right? When you start thinking about the evolution of how technology is scaling, if you're spending all of that time doing the manual data entry, querying data within your CRM system, your competition is out there operating at lightning speed, being able to leverage this nascent technology to be able to span the universe for warmer type of leads. And if you think about the issue, right, the fundamental core issue is actually that the data that you're working with is largely fragmented, right? So think about all the data in your CRM systems, in your emails, in your spreadsheets. These third-party tools, they're all silos, right? So you're forced to patch together a picture of a prospect or a client, leading to missed opportunities and poor targeting. So it's happening industry-wide is that you're working harder, but not necessarily smarter, right? And if you believe the Cerulli stats out there, when we're going to have a FA shortage of 100,000 bodies, right? There's just not enough time to waste with the amount of work that's coming our way. We firmly believe the solution is AI-driven relationship intelligence, right? So let's think about it like moving from guesswork to predictive matchmaking, right? For all of those low value work that you're doing, let the technology do it, right? Because AI is analyzing thousands of data points that simply a human can't process, right? Being able to identify the highest potential partners, not just the ones with the largest AUM or the ones that you're seeing, that you're seeing on a daily basis, but this is how you shift from a low value admin work to high value relationship building and secure faster, more profitable growth, right? Think about it this way. So I played football in college, right? I was a Boy Scout, growing up, right? I went to Catholic school, then a public school, right? Wouldn't it be nice if I went into a conversation and I knew, right? And I had technology that was able to piece together how I connected with a prospect or prospects or clients at scale before I even got into a meeting, right? Think about all of that time and effort that you're going from a Facebook page to a LinkedIn page to back to your CRM system to a note that you wrote to back to your notepads, right? All of that is wasted time that can be ingested so that AI could read, retrieve, reason with, and then later predict, right? So what we want to do is be able to, for whether it's from an enterprise, whether you're a $10 million shop or a $10 billion shop or a $10 trillion shop, being able to have a predictive system that's using algorithms to analyze all these data points for you and be able to identify so you could prioritize the highest potential partnerships, right? We want you to be able to know who to talk to and why before you even pick up the phone or before you even go to craft an email. And this will lead to accelerated growth. Once again, focus on the low values, things that are taking up all your time, to high value relationship building. So now let's go into what that new playbook actually looks like, right? So in this section, we'll dive into the new prospecting playbook, right? A blueprint for moving beyond the simple filtering to true predictive matchmaking. So it really starts with the traditional approach and then going into the AI driven approach, right? And these are just examples, right? Depending on your use case, right? Your example from finding high net worth clients to qualified purchasers to advisors to reach out to. Those are all different use cases, but the good news is, right? It's all lives in the data, right? And the old approach really relied on basic lagging data, right? Who is big? Who has the most AUM? Where are they located, right? This all is guesswork. And the new playbook is all about the P word, and that word is precision, right? Because what you want is the AI to look deeper and analyze on a granular basis specific data like RIA investment mandates, right? Is there any portfolio overlaps or gaps? What about their fee structures, compatibility, and most critically, propensity to buy or propensity to move, right? Thinking about you're trying to grow your business organically and you want to bring on other advisors, right? You want to be able to have the technology go beyond the data to get kind of a sentiment analysis to let you know if this advisor is going to be a fit for you. Conversely, for selling into advisors in the asset management landscape, you want to be able to parse together all of this data, whether it's SEC data like 13Fs, whether it's CRS, whether brochure one, two, all these publicly available websites, right? You want to be able to at scale analyze each and every data point that's on these websites and on these data points so that when you go to query it, you're getting the most actionable real-time data so that you can make an informed decision and you could build relationships at scale, right? So once again, instead of searching for anyone that's in New York area with $500 million in assets, $500 million in AUM, you could target that one RIA in New York area with a known mandate to increase exposure to your specific asset class within 12 months, right? The good news is it all lives within the data, right? The bad news is all of that data is silo and lives in silos and is fragmented everywhere, right? And this is where the power of AI and surgical precision comes in, right? Ensuring that when you reach out, you know exactly what they need, hopefully before they know they even need it, right? So going back into really the old way, which is kind of searching for everyone, you're using filters, you're using things like maybe LinkedIn keywords, right? Traditional methods cast a wide net equals low precision, right? Targeting ideal partners is going to be the next, right? No one's trying to waste anyone's time, right? What AI is going to be able to do and can do now is be able to deliver surgical precision with predictive intelligence based off of who you are as an individual, who your organization is, and then what that target audience looks like. And until you can get that full data picture, and the data is unified and being able to be surfaced for you, it's all just going to be guesswork until you could make that data breakthrough, right? Now, the good news is AI moves from searching for anyone to target to the ideal partner, once again, with surgical precision. Now, moving on, it's all about, for that next phase of growth, unlocking the power of your data, right? So, what I want to focus on this section is how this intelligence gives you a massive data driven advantage over your competition by unifying your information and streamlining your workflows, right? So, as far as unifying fragmented data, right, this should be your growth strategy, right? Being able to unify, automate, accelerate. Three words: unify, automate, accelerate. And this is the blueprint, right? So, we talked about fragmented data, right? We've talked about how your data is everywhere: CRM systems, Excel spreadsheets, physical meeting notes, etc., publicly available sources, social posts, social media profiles. The data is out there for you to prospect with precision, but we have to unify that data for you, right? Now, we talked about fragmented data is the biggest growth inhibitor, right? Your team is forced to spend hours every week just reconciling the information scattered across 5 different platforms, right? Where we are now, from a technological standpoint, is having the ability, doesn't matter at this point the format the data is in. It could be data from a podcast, so video, MP4. It could be data that's in a webinar. It could be data that's in a CRM system. It could be on a piece of paper. It could be on a napkin. It could be anywhere. The beautiful part about where we are from a technical logical standpoint is that all of these disparate formats of data can now be ingested by an LLM, right? And that could be unified together, stitched together with who you are as a person, right? And that could be as easy as you taking your bio and you ingesting it into an upload feature, right? All of that data needs to live somewhere. Now, that could be a Google Drive, that could be a OneDrive on Microsoft, that could be a Snowflake instance called like a data lake, right? All of this data needs to live in one place that is native to the cloud. So then the next step is AI is able to get to it, right? Now, once AI is able to retrieve that data that is all unified from all of the your workflows, how you operate, who you are, then that gives you the ability, by the use of an API, to automate low value work for lead gen and personalized outreach, right? So first we're able to unify all that data, then we're able to automate the process within the data so that your low value work is now a thing of the past, right? All of that to then accelerate growth, right? Because now you have that engine running, starting with the unified data, then automating the workflows so that you are in front of high value targets that have a higher propensity of partnering with you at scale, right? Now, for us at Asselink, we've designed and solved this, right? And what we want, doesn't matter whether you use us or someone else, is that you have a intelligence hub of your own source of truth, right? Being able to ingest and harmonize all of your disparate sources of data, from your CRM data to your third-party databases to public filings, to have one source of truth that is a 360-degree view of every prospect and client. And not only do we want that visualized via dashboards, but we also want that to be able to be retrieved by human language. It doesn't matter whether it's on your computer, your cell phone, your iPad, your Surface, etc. All of this intelligence needs to be unlocked and retrieved in a way that's faster, more efficient, and more productive than you currently have, right? And now this means The net result of this means no more jumping between screens, and your entire team sees the same up to date, comprehensive profile, giving you a crystal clear understanding of the relationship status, the needs, and even the history of these relationships, right? So all of this is AI driven client relationship intelligence, right? So as far as AI for efficiency, what we need to know is, what does unified data enable, right? And the answer to that is efficiency, right? AI, since AI handles the low value, high effort work, you're able to free up that 80% of the time that we spoke about earlier to actually building relationships, growing AUM, which is going to make you a more productive representative, right? Now, kind of going back into the automation, right? What do you want? What does this automation mean, right? That, I know automation is a buzzword, but what are some things that we can automate, right? You want to talk about things like data cleanup, generating warm lead list, and even creating personalized talking points for outreach, right? Thinking about going into a meeting and knowing exactly what to talk about, and knowing the exact pain point that your prospect or client is currently going through, because all of that mundane process of going through all of these different silos of data is all visualized for you, right? So this frees up your most expensive and valuable resource, and that is you, and that is your sales team. The number that keeps coming up in the data shows that 80% of your sales teams, and it could be and if you're on that sales team, it could be you, right? 80% of your time you want to spend on what truly matters, continuing to build a relationship, strategic planning, and not administrative wrangling, right? It's also important to note what the future looks like. The future does not look like replacing people, right? What you're doing is you're making people exponentially more effective, right? And that is very important to note. Now, I know that I know that everyone sees the headlines, whether it's Amazon, whether it's KPMG, these organizations that are reducing 10+% of the workforce, right? There is going to be consolidation depending on the type of work, which is why you need to root yourself in with relationship intelligence of your clients. Continue to be a valued financial quarterback for your clients, prospective clients. If you're on the asset management side, continue to deliver the type of intelligence on the markets, on your product. Continue to be that person or that source of truth for your clients or prospective clients, whether you're on your RIA side, looking to looking to acquire other firms, looking to lift out other advisors, or you're on your asset management side of the firm, on the side of the house, looking to reach out to all these advisors, right? All of this, right? Building relationship is what you really need to focus on, and letting the technology and AI do the rest, right? So what I would love to do is I would actually love to show you what AI client relationship intelligence looks in real time, right? So what I would love to do is escape out of here. And what I would like to do is go to what I have set up for everyone so that you could see what is the art of the possible. So what I've done is I've queued up a few things where we're able to say, well, what is high value? What is high value for me? And what can I let AI do? Right. So this is our user interface. And from here, what we could do is simply have and show you what the power of AI driven relationship intelligence can do for your business. Right. So let's say I want to do this. Hey, Aston, like, I'm traveling to Texas next week. Show me everyone that has shown an interest in alternative investments. And then after that, I want you to create an email for the top 10 list, inviting them to lunch on November the 4th at 11:30 a.m., where I would like to chat about my private credit offering, and keep the email casual. And then only send an email out to the folks that we have an email address to, right? And think about the query that I just did and think about how long it would take you to create that email list, create that lead list, and then send that email out to, right? And now what the AI is able to do, it's able to give me that lead list, right? So once again, I'm traveling to Texas next week. Show me everyone that's shown interest, right? So now if I am traveling to a conference, if I'm traveling to go see clients, and I want to create other leads around my visit, now I have a starting off point, right? All of this would have taken me hours to do. Now that we have unified data that's with the ability to retrieve that and reason on that data, now I have a starting off point, right? Now what I said was now so now there's 2,810 advisors that fit that criteria, right? Now for the top 10, I said create an email inviting them to lunch next week. And here we have the email, right? To the folks that we actually have email addresses. Now what we have is a casual, customized email that can include my data in it, right? That allows you to just focus on relationship building, right? So when I say that 80%, I want you to think about the methodology, how you would get your own lead list. Doesn't matter whether you're trying to target financial advisors, doesn't matter whether you're trying to target owners of RAs from acquisitions, doesn't matter whether you're trying to recruit advisors, doesn't matter if you're looking for high net worth individuals. It does not matter. What matters is everything that you go through your workflow to do needs to have some sort of automation to it to be able to compete at that next level, right? And then going forward, right? Now you start talking about, well, what could that potentially mean? Right? So now let's go into the individual aspect to it, right? You're looking at an individual and think about how long it would take to go through all of the different areas of who this person is, right? So now what we have is a unified experience so that I could know going in that this person is chatting about is chatting about their interns, right? Or equity compensation, or hey, are you a business owner, right? So all of this allows me to save time, which potentially can make you money. So now if I'm going to meet Joey, I could say, what should I know about him? And now all of that information, all of that meeting prep, right? Now, on average, our industry spends 30 minutes per meeting preparing for a meeting, right? And let's say you have to do 20 meetings in a week, that's 600 minutes a week that you're spending on meeting prep. That 600 minutes goes to seconds, right? So all of this is extremely important. And this is a microcosm of what can be done, right? So now you know what to focus on, right? You know the individual works at Venturi Private Wealth. You know that they have offer a range of wealth management services. You know that he holds a leadership position as an MD and owner, indicating significant experience. You know his regulatory history, his asset focus, recent growth metrics of the organization, notable or unique aspects of who Joey is, which is a dual role as both a managing director and as an owner of the organization, right? So all of this, which used to take time, right? It used to take minutes and hours out of your week, is now possible. Once again, with the use of AI for client relationship intelligence, right? And if I could just harp on one thing, is being able to take that 80% of your time back, right? And it starts with being able to unify your data. And then it really goes to being able to retrieve that data in a way to make you more efficient, right? So if I go back to the slide here, what I'd like to do now is give you our ask, right? If this is interesting to you, right, I would love to do a growth audit of your data sources and how, if that data source is unified, right, what could that mean for you, right? What we want to do is be able to discover that perfect fit for prospects, then being able to align with the 360 degree of intelligence so that you can engage with precision and timing, right? Because you want to be able to leverage your engagement tools to that suggest optimal contact methods and timing for hyper personalized and high conversion outreach strategies, right? So if there's an interest, we'd love to be able to conduct a growth audit or an in-depth demo of what we can do from a data unification all the way to how we could enable you to have a 360-degree view of your clients and prospects and how you could build that precision growth engine. So what I would love to do now is open this up for Q&A. In the meantime, if anybody needs my contact information, it's right here. But happy to take any questions from anyone. And to ask a question, you could just write it in the chat function that is on the bottom right hand, that is on the bottom middle of your screen. Happy to go into any queries. Happy to go into anything that we're seeing in the future, which looks pretty promising, right? In the future, how things look is more human out of the loop, right? So being able to ingest how you operate and let the machine do that type of functionality, right? I think about what is on our roadmap, thinking about the future of scheduling and how scheduling meetings within our industry is all going to become hyper personalized and automated. But once again, happy to open this up to the audience. And then in the meantime, what I could do, sounds like we have a shy bunch, is be able to launch a poll, right? And what I would love to know is where are you in your AI journey for your business? This is anonymous, but just from curiosity, are you to the point where you haven't started yet? Playing around with prompts using LLMs? Have started the data unification process at the point where you're querying data on your own data or enterprise data, or all the way to be an expert to be able to have AI for automated workflows? And I'll give you another 10 seconds. Awesome. Well, looks like 100% of the participants have not started yet, right? So what a great way to get started than starting to identify the data sources that you depend on the most in your day, and being able to start putting those together and putting an LLM around it so that you could have a experience, so you could start getting on that path of client relationship intelligence and the use of AI. And any once again, any questions, feel free to write it in the chat below. So it seems like we have no questions here today. There will be a brief survey after this, so please feel free to respond to the survey. My contact information is on the QR code. If you just put your phone on the QR code, my direct information will populate into your phone. I really appreciate everyone's time and consideration today. And thank you and look forward to the next webinar. Thank you, everyone.